Right. So, on the table for today, literally, Smash Palace. So, I've already opened packs. There's nothing exciting. A couple of Majestics, but no big hits. No amping up the hit rates to make people, buy it like, the speculation around bundles for MTG or something like that, or Pokemon, I think was also speculated like that. But it is still a really, really amazing product. I just don't think it's utilizing what it has the potential to have, right? Through Crack Shuffle Play. Because Crack Shuffle Play, even with the new heroes and their abilities, which are fantastic, does not seem great, right? There are so many good cards in Mastery Pack Guardian for the limited experience that kind of just get sidelined. So basically, what I want to do today is sort through my Mastery Pack Guardian, which is something I always neglect to do. Yeah, morning. What's dry mouth? Is what I always wake up with. Anyway, give me a second. I should always grab a glass of water. I always forget, or I always neglect, to sort cards for any given set, and they end up as literally just, piles and piles and piles on my desk, right? Or in my cupboard, which is worse. So, starting with Mastery Pack Guardian, and hopefully then Super Slam, we will sort cards, and I will either try to extract at least a playset, right? Because there's some decent stuff in the actual boxes as well. But also, I want to obviously put all the Guardian, ex-Guardian stuff aside for it to be utilized with Smash Palace. And there's a few different ideas, right? Either making, like a specific sex of cards. So, for instance, a specific blue pile and a specific clash pile, a specific heave pile, crush pile, right? And then the idea there is you grab a blue pile and you grab one of these other assets, and then you pick your hero, something like that. Or just full on making specific decks out of the res and commons only for these heroes. That's my idea behind them. And then I can just stick them in the box, and then whenever I want to play it, right, there's, again, not too powerful level of a deck, but bit more fun than just obviously Crack Shuffle Play, and a bit more reusable than just Crack Shuffle Play, right? Smash Palace is fun. My daughter and I found a way to reuse it. Beautiful. That is nowhere near the number of piles I have. I will show this off again because it was super annoying. I started going through it, and then inspection. So I had to put it all back in the closet. But this is one closet, right? There's a closet in the main room as well that also has a ton. And the bigger problem is... Oh, God. And the bigger problem is whenever I go looking for cards, I sift through the boxes, and then I just put them back in any box, rather than the box they came out from. So it's just slowly spread, and, for instance, like a High Seas box is no longer just High Seas cards, it's High Seas / Hunted. Ah, the woe. One day, it'll be worth, getting my playsets and then just bulking the rest of it somewhere. Alright. I do also want to look into this, because this is a really, really nice box, and it's so good to see the quality, right, around this. It's a beautiful box. The little, play sheet is also cool. A little etiquette as well. The how to play book, which I think is the type of thing that should be in the armory. Decks, right? I think Gravy's was okay. This is definitely, a lot better. Especially because it's weird, because this is significantly better than the God, I have it here. The classic battles, right? Sheets as well. 4 blue piles, red / yellow, rare pile, and armor pile. Shuffle each together. Oh, cool. Like sort of like Crack Shuffle Play. Not Crack Shuffle Play. That's literally what this is. Sort of like Jumpstart is where my mind was going from MTG, right? But like this explanation, especially of like the tapping and everything like that. Imagine if this was in the Gravy Bones Armory deck, because all it had to be was not the start and stuff, or even it could be the start. In fact, it could just be the whole thing. Screw it. Don't even have to gravify it, because again, it's got the key legend, the phases as well. Because I think this is something that also people don't get their head around, right? When they're starting out, the attack, pass, defend, declare reactions, declare defense reactions, then declare reactions again if you want, then do the damage, right? It's just, it is such a really nice product and booklet that, you know, hopefully this is an asset that gets reutilized, because it should be, right? It's the best, in my opinion, booklet for learning how to play Flesh and Blood that they've produced since ever, right? And then not to mention the little actual board quality, you know, playmats, right? So each of them are, you know, the double-sided playmats, which are just fantastic. You get 2 of them, so you can have 4 people, right? And they have all the zones and everything. And then all the pop-out tokens, which very surprised with, right? Are not a proper, again, board game quality pieces, right? And they're not, you know, flimsy cardboard or anything like that. Like, I'd have to exert to obviously break it. Like chipboard? No, they're not even well, they don't at least look like pressed board, or at least it's a double-layered pressed cardboard. But yeah, so they're really nice, and you know, these could have been a bit cooler, the little slots, but they work, right? I can probably make a little insert that makes the cards a bit more smoother in these little slots, but still great, right? You got your event deck slot, and then again, my mentality would probably be stack of blues, stack of other type cards, right? If I don't go down the actual deck construction. So yeah, really nice, because realistically, I mean, this is the cards from all the 12 piles, right? So you can absolutely fit, was it at least probably 4, maybe 6 decks in there, and if you can get to 6, isn't that all the heroes? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, you could probably squeeze all the cards in here. Maybe not, you know, double sleeved or anything like that, but they're rares and commons anyway, so I don't really think I care, right? Probably just sleeve up the heroes, they're shiny, right? But then stick just stacks of rares and commons in here to then be utilized like a board game, right? So yeah, really, really happy with it as a product. And even if they did stuff like this in the future with the event decks, and you know, it wasn't necessarily crack shuffle play, so you weren't roped into buying a loose box, given how, you know, crappy loose boxes are for Flesh and Blood. But still, it is definitely a very, very well made product, which is just great, right? So hoping, yeah, you know, would be cool. A yearly UPF style product like this, I think would do fine. But onto the heroes, right? So yeah, I believe you can play Velda, right? And the fact that you do get Brava as well. So I was asking about the welcome decks. Not that I necessarily know if I want to try Bravo, but I just want him for my hero collection. But yeah, so you've got your 2 normals and then your 5 UPF heroes, right? So, you know, we could try and build around their abilities. So Fightmaster Cox wants, you know, anything that generates gold. Was there much gold generation outside of, well, Victor's effect, right? I don't think there was. I think he's mainly relying on the event decks. We'll have to look through the cards, right? Because I was sort of thinking maybe tune them specifically, so you want all the well, you don't, yeah, block cards. So you want all the defensive stuff as rare, and then stuff to capitalize on the seismic surge, I guess, right? Groundbreaker Crix, a weird one. I suppose it's just Clash, right? I think here, and weirdly, so Victor's not, in my opinion, a Clash hero, right? Crix is more of a Crash hero. Both are, I guess, just big effects and discounts, right? So seismic surge generation, Cox is gold generation. I think we could probably go through the cards and figure out what exactly they want. But yes, I will agree that probably Bravo's the ringer, right? Which makes sense. He's meant to be the top showman, right? Considering he's on demand, dominate plus the +2 is definitely very, very relevant when it comes to UPF. But I think I will still, you know, build for all of them. And maybe it's as simple as, you know, giving them certain equipment, right? Trying to balance them that way as well. But, you know, the easiest starting point here is sorting, right? So, how do we want to do this? I suppose I will probably not do it by color just yet. Do I? God. Well, for one, I have to extract all the equipment and tokens. So I suppose, you know what? Do this. We'll do this with the pile from the Crack Shuffle play and see how it goes, right? And get some ideas for the decks. But we'll go commons, rares, equipment, and then I don't really care about the tokens. And we can, you know, ditch our Velders, although I suppose we want the high rises from them. And then we can, you know, zero in on the cards a little bit more. But I do probably think the proper way to go is similar to what you've done, Skippy, right? Make sure there is guaranteed blues. And I feel like, was it in Crack Shuffle play normally? It's 12 blues. I feel like I'd rather 15. Right? Just a nice even half. And that way, statistically, you should be getting 2 in every hand. I want it to, A, utilize the actual Guardian cards for the limited experience a bit better. And just be a bit more consistent and easier to run. And a bit more, I wouldn't say fair, because it's UPF anyway. But a bit more well-rounded is what we'll go for. Equipment. And like, you know, the shitty equipment. That I definitely want to get rid of. And just have it all a little bit more even. I mean, although you do have, you know, for instance, like Bofa, who can't have a weapon or shield. Can he have a shield? What's the exact wording on him? It is, you cannot equip weapons, so technically you can have a shield. Right? Because it's offhand, and it's equipment, not a weapon. Or am I wrong? Right, gauntlets, foil. I also want to pull out all the foils because they're a little bit harder to find. The Mastery Pack Guardian, though. But not a whole ton of rares. Hotline, skippers. I mean, time skippers as well could be interesting. I wonder which hero would sort of work best in. Definitely don't need the... I suppose the Seismic Surge tokens you could probably just break up and stick in the box anyway. Again, the cardboard ones that are in there are a bit nicer. You still probably, you know, need dice so that you can put counters on them. So I don't think anyone should realistically, you know, just be putting out one per. Then the board can get pretty crazy and messy. Although the minus stuff, right? I don't think there was -1s on the tokens. They're just the shattered equipment style, right? Just that with the like a crack through it, I believe. Is there any 2-block equipment? Thinking about just the shield. So maybe the go is to only use the rod and buckler, right, and scrap the other different shields. I have no idea where to put these now that I've split them up because they're tiny. They're just going to go everywhere. Hopefully I never knock them. But yeah, so from this, right, and we didn't really get full sets of equipment, which is something. Because I'd also like this to be, you know, easy-ish to replicate. Like time skippers, you have your iron rot set. So you have your utility, you have your block, and you have your weird mix of shields. But I think it's probably can... Goliath gauntlets kind of have a use, right? Especially in someone like Bofa. But I feel like time skippers are such a bait. Same with Hope Merchant's Hood. Time cross trap is definitely nice as well. And yeah, just try and tailor the equipment. But we definitely need more equipment than that to get through this. And for rares as well. That's the other balance to sort of strike, right? How many rares do we put in? Are we just aiming for, you know, like the clash stuff? Because I think all the clash stuff could be, because it's such cool effects. And like the annex cards. Do we pull any annex? Yeah. It's like stealing someone's equipment is also really nice, especially with the event deck equipment or something like that, right? Although most likely, your opponent just blocks through it regardless. So it's not really about stealing equipment, it's more about just stopping equipment being utilized. What could you actually steal? Harn cross strap has a 0, Goliath Woman. You could only steal the utility things. No, actually, and the Guardian set, because they're all battle worn. Never mind. I suppose in that case, if we just give the battle worn equipment, then Annex is always free. There could also be just a nice cohort of cards that, suit everyone. Oh, but now we have lots and lots of boxes to go through. I wish at some point I had sorted this better. But, oh well. So, yeah, probably just going to keep to it. Go commons, equipment, keep them in their little sections, sell the puzzle pieces. So, yeah. Slightly boring. But I think it will definitely be worth it. Overall. Because, yeah, the event decks, there's so many people that I've seen that just, I really wish I could just buy the event deck to have, and just to run, kitchen table fun and stuff like that. Because I definitely see it utilizing across the board for UPF. Like, I'm pretty sure it'll become a thing where if you're going to sit down and play UPF, the majority of people will always utilize the event deck because it's just phenomenal, right? No. Lack of foils is also pretty dismal. I think I did pull out a good section of them, though. Ison is Guardian, even if it doesn't feel like it sometimes. I will also say the Richter scale. I can't believe it doesn't have Go Again. I don't know why, but I just instantly thought it had Go Again, and it doesn't, and that's kind of sad. It's like I can say it being a very, very aggro thing for turn 1 Velda. So I made a Blitz Velda deck, and it did do reasonably well. It did whip a few times, so I have to retune it a little bit. But Richter Scale just to get the 2 on turn 1, find a Crash and Bash or any other thing, even just, an actual 3 from Eruption, so you can block out and then still swing something big. It's really, really nice. Let alone, having a heave card with it and getting to 4. Or it can also just be the sort of thing where you go, I have Promising Terrain in hand, so I can block out with my whole hand, play Promising Terrain, crack Richter Scale, and then be happy. This is our first grab piece, I just realized, which is pretty nuts. I guess the rare equipment is very rare. Well, it is in that slot, so it does actually constitute an extra rare, right? I think we're almost good on shields, though. I think that's also our first Crater Hoof. Looking through all these, it's very apparent that the way they've situated the equipment, it does loop, which is pretty interesting because it shows the capability they have, right, for organizing packs, which I guess could also be to some degree troublesome. But we do sort of have plenty of cards here. I think I do want to sort of cap rares. Although it is good to still have that level of variability to it. The only problem with piles is then reorganizing them. If I get too specific with what cards, right? I could sleeve them and then put like stickers on them, I suppose. But that seems like a lot of effort. I think it'll be deck and probably equipment is still luck of the draw. I think is a fine call. There's 7 heroes. I think I'd still rather build around 7, even though it's 4 player. Ah, God. I guess we just build around 4 players. Rare shield. I mean, if it's 4 players, I suppose it should just be, 1 piece of each equipment and then luck of the draw. No, but then that still feels bad with the shitty equipment. I think I just want a decent chance that it's all good stuff. Like, the Iron Rod is definitely useful. Plus, like, you also have to figure out how you don't double up. Alright, we'll start with... So, in terms of equipment, again, I think Merchant's Hood has no place whatsoever. Time Skippers, maybe. I mean, Merchant's Hood, I guess, is a bit more reasonable. They really should have printed like a one-off Earthfall Bounty effect. Maybe instead of the Richter scale, that would have been cool. It's just for this turn. And well, maybe make it instant, so you could, use it with Promising Terrain or something like that. Hunt cross traps over there. 2, 3. We want Crater Hoof though. So the thing is, for like Bofa, I don't think it's too worthwhile having the extra cost in equipment. Then again, without his weapon, he feels like he should have more equipment, no? So, yeah, it's probably just... How do we do this? Like the draw, 2 Horn cross straps. Probably aim for 2 cross straps, 2 Goliath gauntlets, 2 gauntlets. I guess Helm just because of the block. You know what? No. But I think, again, I want to capitalize on annexation. And even the clash cards and destroying equipment is... I can't remember. What is the clash? So the clash of legs. When this defends the guardian attack, clash with attacking hero. If there is a winner, the other puts a negative counter on the legs they have equipped. If they don't, they lose 1 life, right? So that incentivizes the blade break, and I guess the useful equipment. Yeah, like time skippers. There is a purpose to have some level of the Iron Rod stuff, right? I think the idea would be sort of to weight it. We go like, there's 7 slots, so 3 pieces of Iron Rod a piece, and then do 2 of each of the useful other equipment. And that's probably, a mix of the crab set, Iron Cross Trap, Goliath Gauntlets. So it's probably crab legs and the crab head I have to look for. And then gauntlets and crater. Am I thinking about that correctly? Oh no, do the full guardian set. So chest. Well, that should be legs. At least I'm getting a sense of what I'm trying to look for, right? And that way, there's 7 equipment in total, and it can still be luck of the draw, but it's also usable equipment, right? I mean, I'm sure you could have some fun with Hope Merchant's Hood and Time Skippers, but no. I don't think you can have enough fun. Alright, so we're looking for 2 of each of these, and the rest of the equipment I'm considering jank, more or less. The shields are the only other thing. So, shield-wise, you either go full Ron bucklers and everyone's fair, or potentially you just go Tremor, Hoarding, Ron buckler, right? I think that's actually fairer. If we cut out the steel braid bucklers, no one has access to the 3 block, right? But they can block big if, right? The big if being they control Seismic Surge, they get 2 block. Which is not a hard ask, but it's still something you have to achieve. And then Hoarding of Denial, they have to block with extra cards. I think that's fair, and similar to the other equipment, you go 3 Ronald bucklers, then 2 of each of the other shields. And that way there's a good mix. I think that's, in the scope of what's available, I think that's a bit better. If we just give Steel Braid bucklers, then that's the best block value you could always find. I think that makes it a little bit uneven. Problem is, God, finding enough of the crab pieces, right? To make this work. And the crab stuff, though, is also only good with Bravo, if you want to keep your equipment there, or specifically Heave. I mean, God. It's 30... It's 30, 30 cards to a deck. So if we do 30 divided by What'd it be? Equipment, equipment, equipment. So 5 bits of equipment and the hero. 3 divided by 6. So we could do 5 card packs. Alright, hear me out. We're gonna get way too technical with this, but I think this has piqued my interest in how we organize this. God, how do I write? You know what, let me put text on the screen. That's probably the easiest way to keep track of this. Again, I had a rough idea, but not a solid idea on what exactly I wanted to do when it came to this. Right? I just wanted, again, more consistent fun. So I think, how big is that? It's a bit, I can always shrink it. So if we do 6, God, 5 card packs. The idea here, if I make you smaller, alignment, where's the font? There we go. Bit too small. Alright, so if we do, oh god, now it needs a background. That'll do, okay. Okay, so we do 6 5-card packs, right? And the idea there is you pick your hero. He comes with 5 specific cards for it. So each pack should be 2 blues puts us at 10. No, 2 blues puts us at 12, which is what Crack Shuffle Play is. I guess that's fine, right? It's still the same power. So 2 blues, and then 3x. Plus hero / equipment. Right? And the way that works is you get your 30 cards, you get your 5 bits of equipment. Everyone gets the same weapon anyway, so that's fine, that doesn't matter. And you get your hero. That means that for each hero, I can pick specific cards that go with their ability, and then I can pick specific pieces of specific equipment to go with specific sets of cards, right? And that way you still have some level of agency, and there's still going to be some level of randomness. The only nightmare is then keeping track of it and reorganizing it after play. But I think I kind of like that. Each player gets 12. I'm just comparing it to what Skippy said he's done. So he does 4 piles: blue pile, red / yellow pile, rare pile, and armor pile. Shuffle each individually. Each player gets 12 blues, 15 reds / yellows, 3 rares, and 3 armors. 3 armor. The nice thing though is if we because we're doing multiples of certain bits of equipment, we can still make it varied, so it won't always be the same. I like this idea enough to follow through with it. Sleeve it up, put stickers on shit. Or it's not too crazy. I just do an inner sleeve, do like, you know, one of the little circle stickers, dot stickers on it. I think that's fine. Yeah. And I can make each pack have a rare. So you get 6 rares, which is still, at 6 rares, that makes it essentially what you'd normally get, right? Granted, this you're getting less. Yeah, I think we'll try this at the very least, right? Because now at least we have structure to what I'm searching for. So we can finish finding the equipment. Rares, we probably don't need too many, but for instance, right, it'll be like you grab a Han Cross Trap. A card like Macho Grande should show up, right? Something like that. And then the grab stuff. You get your heave cards, and I can make one, the good heave. What's the other one? Rubble Razor? And Swing Big. Yeah. I think there's a plan here. Right? And then the Battle Worn equipment could have like the Clash cards. And that way there's at least enough of the cards to augment the hero ability. So for instance, I forget whichever Clash hero it was, the Centaur lady. She can have, you know, 5 solid Clash cards in her starting pile. And then you get the extra stuff. right? I think that's a solid idea. Yeah? Yeah. That's what we'll go with for now. Alright, so that means I still have to finish finding the equipment. And also breaking up these cards. God. Do I want to go complete lucky dip though with the equipment though? I think what we thought up is fine. I definitely don't want Hope Merchant's Hood or Time Skippers. Even though Time Skippers can be utilized, they still kind of feel like the feels bad cards, right? Where even if you do use it, the payoff's not going to be super huge. I mean, as Guardians, what? It's discount a big attack, Time Skippers, that's one card, that's two cards, Hammer Swing. That's still keeping your whole hand just to utilize Time Skippers. It's not worth it. They should have printed, no, it would be broken. I was going to say Guardian Boots that were, you know, an absurd amount of... No, it wouldn't have to be an absurd amount. It would be something like, this costs less per Seismic Surge you have, or I always want to think of ways that Seismic Surge can interact with other cards instead of just Guardian attack actions, because I think that's, you know, an untapped reservoir that could be a little bit interesting. But no, that's fine. Alright, so we have 3 legs already, 3 helms already. Still looking for 3 chest pieces for Iron Rod. Fetching the equipment out is probably going to be a nightmare. And we're also getting to the point where, to recreate this, it kind of takes an obscene amount of cards. I think overall, though, it's the idea suggestion, right? Because I do think making this reusable should have been a goal. There's some explanation. Like, even in the instruction booklet, if it was something like, at the end of the game, separate all the blues, blah, blah, blah. Because I think your idea, Skippy, nails it on the head in terms of reusing what comes with the box a little bit better. Alright. At least we'll pull out a decent chunk of rares with this. That's the second Richter scale. They're done. They're done. I need one more Crater Hoof. I wanted 3 Ronald Bucklers. So Ronald Bucklers are done. I need one of each other shield. I need another Glyph Gauntlet? I do. Beautiful. Right, we are getting the sets done. And you also don't need to have to make 7, I suppose. Considering it is a 4-player thing. But we like choice. Iron Gloves, I do need. Don't need so many Velders. There's also the question of weapon selection. We add to it, or is it just High-Riser? I think Titan's Fist might be a bit too broken. But maybe, you know, you could do, like, take this instead of the shield. With all the big hammers. Well, crab arms was what I needed. No, I need the crab head. Zelda. And this can also be semi-draft, right? Where you go around the table, picking which piles you want. Not to mention, I will probably have enough cards where I can go through and I can probably build decks for them as well. I need a Richter scale. Really need more equipment to show up. And accept that. Not a helm. Oh, I see the rare I missed. And there's the opportunity to throw Majestics into this as well. Well, I think that sort of breaks it. Already have 2 Isons. Definitely don't want time skippers. Another box down, and I can't say it furthered our goal significantly. Still, there is a few more cases after this one. We did open quite a bit. Alright. Blues. White gauntlet. Also do not need. I'm begging for iron rot, which is a weird sentiment. Step the helm. That's weird. Maybe it is not as bladed as I thought. Brick to scale. Also don't need. I mean, I could just be crazy, but it does seem like we're getting certain equipment more than others at this point. And it's yeah, weird. So far, time skippers, I think, is one of the standout ones. And unfortunately, don't need another buckler. Oh. Or Goliath gauntlets. Not to mention, our common pile is getting a bit excessive. Okay. The crab set is definitely significantly hard to find. Oh, fancy art card. I didn't realize they came in cold foil. That feels so sort of bad. Right? If you get the set card as your cold foil. Also have way too many Velders. They really should have roped the adult into it. Made her just a lot more accessible. Hope Merchant's Hood. That we definitely don't want. Although I suppose Hope Merchant's Hood is just more of a bummer in the actual Crack Shuffle play. Everything else is not too crazy. Clash of Arms, another buckler. Come on. Give me shitty equipment. Alright, take stock of what we have. 1, 2, 3. Ooh, I don't actually need another tremor. Alright, there's 7 shields there. Done. Shields are done. No crab head. No crater hoof boots. So we're missing shit. They're done, but I need the iron rod for the gauntlets. They're done, but I need iron rods for the chest. They're done, but I need another crater hoof. And I need the crab head pieces. They're the remaining equipment that we need. I have a feeling getting the crab head pieces is probably too hard. Maybe it's just Hope Merchant's Hood. Maybe we don't worry about the heave cycling anyway, because it is... Is it too much value? Being able to cycle a heave card? What Arsenal disruption is there? It's just Fault Line and Disable in this set? I guess you kind of want those effects to land. That'd be the easy way to do, is just go no rare equipment. And just juice the Hope Merchant's Hood piles instead. Yes, I don't mind that too much. Right? And maybe someone could go crazy for time skippers. I guess that's probably easier. But no rare equipment, and Stillbright Buckler is technically rare. We'll see if we find any more sifting through stuff. But there we go. That should be the equipment piles minus iron rock gloves and chests, right? And a crater hoof. Never mind. I have to continue searching anyway. Next thought is, when it comes to rares, I think I specifically just want to tackle the unique stuff. more than anything. I know there's good rares like Promising Terrain. I suppose Promising Terrain, again, with what we thought up, should probably go with the Richter scale. I really wish I had a good sort of scope of the commonality between boxes. If that makes sense. And how much overlap in certain cards. Because you definitely get a very, very similar deck of blue cards just because the number of blues you get and how many there are in set. Don't need another Emergence Hood. Alright. Crater Hoof, Chest, Arms. Crater Hoof, Chest, Arms. I mean, I suppose I can always pull them out of... Welcome to Rathe. Well, not the Crater Hoof, though. Finding... The old one cards are actually potentially a bit crazy to stick in this. Although I suppose that's the fun. What would they pair well with? Water Arms. Wait. Is the Sunk Water in the rare slot? I thought this was thought as a no, but that was... No, that was our one equipment piece for that. Yeah. No. Why is it so hard to find? I suppose maybe Iron Rot's the lowest. Because they don't want you getting a whole bunch of it. That's just the safety. There's another helm. All we want is chest and arms. And this is going to be another box down, and no. At least we are getting a chunk of rares. And foils, even. How many is there in total? So far, we've opened 4. Oh, sorry, I've pulled cards out of 4. Not really opened. It does push the idea of maybe there's a playset in a case. Of some stuff, at the very least. Don't need Ison. Come on. Thank you. One more glove, one more crater hoof, 2 more chest pieces. Nope. That rare was... This, peeps, is why you sort your cards as you open them. You never have to go through this. Because essentially, this is twice, more or less. Actually, it's probably longer than that, because I was looking through, trying to get cards out for a Velda deck. So I've probably thumbed through everything 3 times at this point. Oh, look, I missed a Velda. Although that is nice when I miss cards and I find them going back through it. Ah, beautiful. The crater hoop on top. Alright, so legs are done too. So just 1 more glove, 2 more chest pieces. 1 more glove, 2 more chest pieces. Beautiful. I'm also completely fumbling where cards go at this point, because the common pile is massive. Alright. 1 more of each, and then we're done. Surely this can be managed. Common. Buckler. Scale. So many Velders. Grande. And... a Buckler. Right, not in that box. Velda. This a semi-sorted one? It is, but it has nothing useful. Might be one where I've already pulled the rares out of. Not. Need a new comment section. Very weird that the foils are smaller than the rares, right? No, I suppose that's normally the case. Just weird that the foils are so small overall. Buckling, Velda. Another Crater Hoof, damn. Just show me the Iron Rot, please. Not more rares. Or I suppose Crabman. Ooh, almost missed an old one. Need to just stick them in one pile now. I don't care about the Veldas. I don't know why I was separating them anyway. You don't need that many. Grandma. Junk. Destroy crowds on junk. Legs. Arts. Oh, beautiful. All right, gauntlets are done. There's our 7 pieces. Just one more chest piece, and then we can build. I definitely think we have probably enough rares. I should be able to find everything I want. I'd be surprised if we haven't hit a certain rare. Maybe color scheme wise, but I know all the limited guardian ones are specific, are they not? And they're sort of what matter more. Elder. And also then skimming back through. We'll just have chunks of blues anyway, which is also really nice. Hoarding. Veldas are kind of annoying. Like, if they were half as frequent, you'd still consistently... No, 1/3. Because it feels such a waste. Always getting 3 when you don't need 3. Done. Beautiful. Suppose I should probably sort this box anyway, since we're here. Commons. Crab. Definitely would not find enough crab pieces to A, do this comfortably, and also then recommend, yeah, just buy probably 2 cases and you'll get your crab set to run this with. There's also the option to just do 1 of each equipment. Does that work? Because there's 4 sets of equipment. Crab, Guardian, Iron Rot, Utility. They could do that as well. But I also don't want it to be, you know, always go for this pile because it will always have this, right? So, for instance, with Richter Scale, if we do 1 with Promising Terrain, 1 with something else. But also somehow, somewhat equivalent. Because I think drafting this set also would be really nice for Crack Shuffle play. Alright. In the end, we went through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Beautiful. We went through specifically a case plus the 12 packs in the box. So 1 more box and a case to get our cohort of cards. Because I'm trying to think recommendation-wise, right? Because I want to make a video about this because I do think, you know, pushing for reusability out of this is something that, again, LSS probably should have. Because it's not a great product model where it's buy the board game and then every time you want the new experience, shell out $80. I mean, that's not the worst, right? In terms of, you know, if you have 4 people each putting in $20 for a weekend. But definitely reusing it somehow would have been great. Alright. Now the question becomes, what goes with what, right? And how many cards do we want to, you know, reuse or double up on? So we have to think up something for each hero. Going for each equipment piece. Again, not hard to ask. We'll start with the rares. And some of them will kind of work out naturally anyway. Because again, Promising Terrain, I think, is by far the strongest card to use with Richter Scale, since, you know, it just auto-completes itself. And all you have to do is block out Promising Terrain, Richter Scale, that's your turn. Although then there's also the event fun. But it's actually good, because since I have 2 cases left, it means I could also probably do something with the other ideas, right? Probably just grab out 12 packs worth of cards and go with Skippy's idea as well. Oh. Alright. So now, when it comes to the rares, we have Heave as one sort of mentality. Annex. The complication here is the old one cards are basically the Crush Guardian effects as well. They're kind of a bit better. Then you have the miscellaneous stuff like Little Bigfoot and Macho Grande. Arsenal Disruption is definitely a bit more of a premium. I kind of wish I had more room on my desk. Aura Disruption as well. But I think that's good. We have the meh, sort of. I mean, Macho Grande just has a big attack. Great. Little Bigfoot. Don't know how comfortably usable it is. I suppose that with Time Skippers would be 7. No, it'd still be way too many cards. Because you don't have something to swing for 2. Promising Terrain. That's sort of the utility. Also Encroachment, Aftershock, Old One, Annex, Clash of Chests, Draw Crowds. Yeah, I think this works in terms of piles. I should be able to do this comfortably quick. If my memory works well. Oh, Pump is not. Why is it commons in here? Right. We also didn't really get too many of the clash of specific cards, did we? I think an easy thing is just stick them with all the battle worn equipment, since then they operate as chip. Or as with the utility equipment, right? No, because you might destroy it. Annex, Old One, Clash. In total, we definitely don't need all of these rares, because how many in total? 6 5-card packs, 6x7, 42. So we need 42 rares. God, that's so unachievable when it comes to just opening boxes. Oh well. Aftershock, Annex. Little Bigfoots. Aftershocks are definitely a solid card. And it'd also kind of be nice to, like, beef up the rares. I think also, in terms of keeping the your idea fresh, Skippy, I don't know if you're still around, but with the piles, probably be like draw 3, and then put something to the top and bottom, right? And that way, the next person draws 3, they have the card you left on top, and then still the other 2 options. At least that's where my mind goes to implement an extra set of rules that, you know, keeps it interesting. And did I count correctly? 1 ref for each hero, 1 ref for each bit of equipment. Yeah, 42. Was it more than 42? No, 5 bits of equipment, hero, yeah, 6, 42. Right? So, God, we are missing some, I think. Arms, chest, legs, shield, head, right? That's 1 set. Arms, chest, shields. Yeah, look at that. We got 1 set of them. Not so bad. It wasn't... There definitely wasn't 42 rares. How many rares were in the set? Oh, Smash Palace. Nope. Not Smash Palace. Master of Guardian. So there were 30 rares in the set. You do need 2 of some of them. Hostile. Realistically, there's those 3. There's Draw a Crowd, Promising Terrain, and Tectonic as the utility. The Annex. The Annex are really fun cards. I think it'd probably be double up on those. 2, 2, one more of all things. I'd like to double up on them and the Clash cards. They seem like the most fun. The bindings are probably too crazy. I suppose we'll double up on them too. And then, I mean, these sort of feel like filler. Like they could almost just go into the main cohort. I mean, put it this way. These all have the normal rare triple, right? Where you have one of each color. These cards don't. Draw a Crowd. Each hero draws a card. I mean, that's pretty crazy in UPF. Draw a Crowd seems nice to use. So 6, 12. That could be 18. And then this would be 28. This would be 34. That's not bad. If I double up on each of them, it means I have to annoyingly look through and find another set of the Clash cards. Or, as currently, 6, 12, double up on Fault Line. Hostile Encroachment's kind of a weird one. Not that great. Renounce is definitely really nice. That's 18. That's an extra 5, so that's 23. That's 26, meaning I still need 16 more cards. There's what? Little Bigfoot, Aftershock, Macho Grande, that's 3. And I doubt we have a color scheme of them. Bigfoot, Aftershock. We're missing blues of both. And Macho Grande in red. Macho Grande in blue. There's Macho Grande in red. There's Little Bigfoot in blue. Was it Aftershock in blue? We also probably don't have. No, we do. Beautiful. That's locked out. But then the idea here is, is that fair and balanced, so to speak? Anyway, 3, 6, 9. We go again. 9, 12, 24, 30, 35. If I could double up on the Clash cards, that would be 40. And then I'm just missing 2 more. Guess it feels right to double up on them all. Promising, Tectonic. Problem is finding the Clash cards. Arms, chest, shields. What am I missing? Missing heads and legs. I suppose you don't have to double up on them. 6, 12, 18, 24, 33. There'd be 1 over if we doubled up on them. Not bad. That or Little Bigfoot have a place. Again, for the sake of fun. I mean, essentially what we're doing is kind of what you could do if you had a master set, I suppose, of Mastery Pack Guardian, which is also a seemingly very annoying ask, regardless. I guess that's true. I want the potential for there to be doubles of rares. And then again, you could probably still do the same cohort where you shuffle all these together. The person draws 3, takes one, puts one to the bottom, leaves one on top. Next person comes along, and you keep going like that as a way to pseudo draft and still keep it varied. As long as I have a cohort of cards that I think good enough to stick in the box and make it a fun experience. There's a Clash of Heads that I thought was foils. That's nice. Meaning I'm just missing a Clash of Legs. For the sake, we'll look through and just see if I have a foil one. Arms, chests, Clash of Legs. I mean, people like shiny stuff. Like looking at this means I have a similar amount of foil rares as I do normal rares, which I think shouldn't be the case. Or maybe it's 1 to 2. Sorry, I looked at them and completely spaced. I'm missing heads and... This is just me going nuts. But anyway, heads and chests. Heads and shield. Yeah. I don't think I'll find... Nope, there's shields. Damn. Otherwise, I could have swapped out and had one foil set, one normal set. Which is kind of a cool idea. Was looking for legs. I'll do that for now. I will probably find a non-foil one at some point. But I'll do. Right? No, this is one card over, isn't it? Stack them up and count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43. Yeah, so we're 1 over. I guess the question then is what to cut. And it's probably hostile encroachment, since that seems crass. Right? I mean, the only person you care about it for is Velda, which sort of makes it easy. Where is it? Right, the idea here is starts with the heroes, right? And we need to pick a card specifically for each of them. More or less? More or less. Right, so the idea here would be Bravo wants a crush card that he can flip. So one of the annexations would be really cool. Right, was it? Turn a face down card in your arsenal face up. If it has crush, it gets +2 and dominate this turn. So it being a 2 means you probably want a 4. Right? And the annexations are unfortunately 5s. Faultline, Renounce, I guess would be kind of cool. But, for instance, you take Velda, you automatically get Hostile Encroachment. I think seems fine. What else do we have? Next tag action card, you play with Crush. You may attack an additional hero. Whenever you attack a Guardian hero, clash with them, the winner creates a seismic surge. They're like Cricks with Renounce seems kind of nice, right? Although you're sort of banking on losing it. Rhea is protect. So she gets gold. How does Fightmaster Cox get gold? Out of curiosity. He wants support from Victor, right? He's kind of seems like the weak link to me. With gold, Rhea probably wants blue. I mean, Little Bigfoot seems correct. I mean, weirdly, for Cox, we go, like, for a crowd. Doesn't seem like the brightest idea, but it seems fun. Yeah, this is what I like, when we're trying to, match cards that sort of make sense. Fault line with Bravo. I mean, Fault line's just automatic plus to itself anyway, so that kind of seems like a nice attack, right? Gives you 1 resource. We'll go Renounce for Groundbreaker Cricks. And then we have Bofa and Rhea. I mean, Bofa with Aftershock is kind of interesting, but it's it's such a high cost, right? It's not, though. Because the idea there is you have one Seismic Surge, Aftershock is then a 3, plus his ability is then a 3. So then you're hitting 2 people for 8, and you're getting 2 Seismic Surge out of it because it's when this attacks, right? That's actually kind of cool synergy. Victor. Choose opponent, the first card they reveal for the next clash gets +1. Destroy 3 gold, and your attack. Any attack gets dominate. And I suppose Rhea just wants the clash cards. What do you want as Victor? Till the end of turn, they can't play face-up cards in their arsenal, and you may play. Kind of interesting. Little Bigfoots. Meh. Do you get gold as well? No, you get gold from them winning clashes. Gold can then be utilized for what? It feels like the little Bigfoots, right? Because the idea there is you can cycle with gold, float resources, and use little Bigfoot. Problem is it's not a good clash card. Granted, as Victor, you're not necessarily clashing. Choose an opponent, the first card they reveal for the next clash this turn gets +1. You can't choose yourself. So the idea there is you just pick someone. When they win clash, you get gold. Is the weird idea to take small cards, choose yourself, always lose the clash? No, but the clash effects are kind of good. Hmm. Definitely not Macho Grande. No instability. Alright, let's get Rhea. Nice and easy. What cards you own equipment you control? With 1 or greater, get protect. Ooh. With 1 or greater. When's the resolve? On like Hoarding of Denial. This gets +X while defending. So Hoarding of Denial does nothing for Rhea. That's interesting. God. That makes it very awkward for me to give her a specific clash card, right? Because they're not guaranteed to be effective. And there's no other block. Do you have any other thing? Create a gold token. I suppose she can also capitalize on Little Bigfoot. Give her Macho Grande. I mean, maybe Velda should have Promising instead of Hostile. Hostile just doesn't seem that good with anything else. You could also give her Tectonic, and she's the only hero that really benefits from Tectonic. I mean, in UPF, Tectonic is kind of crazy because it's each hero, right? We'll do that. I suppose the Annex card is actually nice as Rhea. Steal equipment, then be able to block with it. And for Victor. Hmm. God, he's very, very difficult. I want to give Little Bigfoot, but that also seems so weird. Promising Terrain? Victor's sort of the one I don't understand. I suppose it's nice in the sense that you can give anything dominate. Weirdly, I want him to be small. Fault Line makes sense for Bravo. Aftershock makes sense for Bofa. Forge makes sense. Steal equipment, reblock with it. Fox is meh. Valdez seems insane. Yeah. Guess it's Little Bigfoot. Seems so weird. Or maybe Little Bigfoot in blue, because it's guaranteed as a blue. Seems like he kind of wants a way to look his own cards. Or, again, his ability to could be to choose himself. Just seems like there is not a super suitable hostile enroachment, since you can give it dominate. I mean, an 11 dominate causing discard, that's not the worst thing, I suppose. But that definitely seems like the least suitable to me, right? Alright. So heroes aside, then we can pick a rare for the equipment, which is probably going to get a bit more complicated and confusing. But we'll start with the chess pieces. So 3 iron rots, Richter scale, and 2 iron cross straps. So Richter scale definitely deserves a promising terrain. Right? Seems like a very easy combo. The other one can probably have the Clash of Chests, since it has Battle Worn. One of the Iron Rots. Probably have Clash. No, because you'll probably hang around with the Han Cross Trap, right? And then for the Iron Rots. This is where it becomes sort of a blind draw. Sorry. Ugh. Put my hand up to try and reach for the mute button, but nope. Because the Iron Rot sucks, we could probably give them the old one cards instead. It seems like you kind of want that with Han Cross Trap. What's the most expensive sort of card? Probably one of the annexations. Or a Matra Grande, because you want to discount it. Fine. Matra Grande. And then the Iron Rot. Clash is simple, that will always become apparent. For boots, we have give dominate. For gloves, we have give +2. So I'll want something. Head is Hope Merchant's Hood. Yes, that kind of works with Promising Terrain. Not great, though. Stability, just make it really consistent cycling. Okay, just go like a little Bigfoot each, a binding each, and just make the Iron Rod very weird. Now I want the I do want the strongest cards. Go with the Iron Rod, right? Because then there's incentive to pick the Iron Rod. And stuff like this I don't mind, right? Where you pick an Iron Rod chest, you're guaranteed one of the old one cards. Knowing that's kind of cool. And, you know, will get you to have sort of a better feel for this packet of cards, right? Hopefully that makes sense. Right, chests aside. Plus, it also means that you can't pick these and Han Cross Trap, because I think that's nuts, right? Arms. Where it gets a bit more complicated, because then you can't pick these and Thief cards. And so we want something that benefits from a +2, which is easy, the annexation cards, right? Well, first off, do the Clash again, because that's easy. Clash goes arms, arms, right? Iron Rot should still be the strongest cohort of cards, so I feel like it's a set of the annexations. Not a bad idea. And then Goliath Gauntlet is something you want to give a +2 to. Probably feels like Fault Line or Renounce. There's no defense reaction, so Arsenal Disruption is actually really solid. So Fault Line. And then Boulder Hold can have the Renounce. I suppose Fault Line's kind of nicer with that. Do that, right? Yeah, sort of works. I do kind of want to speed through this a bit more. Yeah. And then for the legs, Crater Hoops, Iron Rods, and Time Skippers. Same sort of thing. Go Clash of Legs. Clash of Legs. Then what else? So you can have hard cross trap, you can't have the dominate. Yeah. So what would you want to give dominate is the question here. Guess the annex card, right? It'd be an 8 cost play to give it dominate. That's not that great. But then cycle it back. Promising terrain, draw a crowd. Flashes don't matter. Most likely these go with the headpieces for utility. The Bigfoot, Aftershock, Macho Grande. It's just, that's still so awkward as a 7 cost. But at least you have something to pitch into for it. Time Skippers is also kind of annoying. Because you want something small enough, which doesn't quite work. Not to mention then we have the 3 legs anyway. It's still kind of annoying. Time Skippers. Not much you could capitalize on, to be honest. Maybe an Aftershock. Maybe you just want a solid blue for this. I guess Aftershock's probably the solid blue. But I also kind of like the idea of going with the boot slots, get you a solid blue. Because basically, rare-wise, these are an extra blue over what we're going to give. Because we'll put 1 blue in each pack. I think it's fine. And, I don't know, make up for the cost. You have the other annexation. That seems nice, right? It's fine. Alright. We're getting there. The principle is here. Putting this together fully. Definitely more of an undertaking than I thought through. But, oh well. Alright, 2 Clash Shields. So, all of Blade Break, which is fine. That's what I want. I don't want the tempo. Hoarding of Denial, I guess, and Tremor. Just use the same principle. They're with the offbeat shields. And then you can have the good heave cards if you take the shitty shield. It's not really that shitty in comparison. And then that leaves... what? For the headpieces. The Clashes, the 3. And what capitalizes most? Headpieces will definitely feel out of place. In Hoarding of Denial, doesn't matter. X number of cards with 3 cost or greater. They all have 3 or greater, so that doesn't matter. Thermal Resistance, one seismic surge token, so I can have Aftershock. That sort of makes sense. And Hoarding of Denial can just have Macho Grande, I think. Wonder if I can make these fit appropriately. Kind of need another Smash Palace for the heroes to make this work. Anyway, so I'd like to, again, have this and then a random pile. 2, 3, 4, 5. Alright. Now, what matches what is the question here. On Clash of Heads, same principle. You really want something with Go Again to go into Iceland's Peak. Weirdly, my mind is going Draw a Crowd, even though that does not feel great. But it's 1 blue to do both, right? Because they're a 1 cost and a 2 cost. But Merchant's Hood, Tectonic, gets your second roll. And that doesn't really matter. Extra Promising Terrain, Annexation, and Little Bigfoot. Which definitely feels like the weakest batch of the Iron Rock cards. Oh well. Alright. That is essentially the rares. Done. Which means it's 2 blues. So it's... Wait, no, 2 blues per pack. What have I done? It's 4 cards left, and it's always 2 blues, probably 1 red, 1 yellow. Just make it straight down the middle, right? Maybe some level of variation. That means we have to take this giant pile and weed out all the blues. And again, then tailor them to equipment. Still kind of like the idea of it just being decks of cards instead. I made this too rigid is the thought. Because, again, my mentality was build specific decks for each hero. That's like the complete go at it. It's, I guess, user-friendly, new player-friendly, but not a lot of variety to it. This is probably next stage down where there's a little bit of randomness to it, but still going to be a bit more consistent, a little bit more thought out. So I guess that's fine. And then the stage under this would be piles. And the idea would just be, again, probably draw 3, keep 1, put 1 on top, put 1 on bottom. Next person draws 3, does the same thing, right? Yeah, that's not bad. And it's essentially, while packed with Smash Palace, you can do the easiest option. You then need a certain level to do this. You then need a certain higher level to build exact decks. You can still do this with different cards. It doesn't have to necessarily be what I'm doing. Just, again, making that consistency where it comes to what you get. Oh God. We might take a break from this and play with Velda. Right? Should be able to find a game, surely. What am I doing? Don't need the text anymore. Alright. Which one is it? This one. Let's find a game. Take a little break. Let my mind think. About the, ooh, what have I done? Oh, I'm on Blitz. That's constructed, public, done. Because I still, draft is still probably the most interesting. Ah, God. Well, Kano's fine. We'll see how we fare. What do I do? Eve is still nice. It's the dominate. And then I guess it's just the yellow as a yellow. Luck of fun. See how we fare. Either way, a nice quick one to begin. I mean, we have a good color of blues here. I really have to pull out all the rares. The nice thing though is also because there's an excess of cards. I really have to make picking Iron Rod a bit more of an incentive though. Well, the idea is it's just last person. Because in the mentality of it's always 4 people playing Smash Palace, with the 7 equipment there, it could just be the 2 Battle Worn, the 2 other pieces, no one touches the Iron Rod. Yeah, so the Iron Rod really has to have an incentive to be good. This seems quite wasteful. Maybe they're not expecting me to have a blue? I'll just deal 4 more. I don't think we see a game long enough to cycle back around. Final Crush matter. Everything's instant, isn't it? So we could attack. Probably not worth it. I really should have kept the well, no, I had to give all the blues. The tectonic instability would have been nice. Whether or not I want to swing here. What do I keep? Focus doesn't matter. I kind of want Spinal Crush just because it's big and it'll be a 1 blue. I'm floating 2 anyway for the Waning Moon, so it's not too bad. Pen and paper, no. We'll go with Word. Oh, it's going so I can write up. Reusing Smash Palace. Just slowly chip them down till we get the Dominate train going. Leyline is beautiful. Well, I suppose it could be Pop a Bubble. Pass. Have go again, I steal 4 more. Just the 2. I have 3, I'll draw a card. I should be able to do that and that. Sending a Blazing Aether to the bottom. It's definitely not. What's the Aura Destruction? Full late line now. Don't want to leave priority on. I hate having to pass through everything. Pass. I should have pitched the blue and kept the yellow. If I draw a blue, I'm happy. But then I waste a resource anyway. Draw a card. Final Crush is not what we want to see. Final Crush, float 2. Just do Smelting. I really don't want to keep this Spinal Crush anyway. I want to keep more cards in my hand to de-incentivize them retaliating. I mean, the fact that they've used the Lessons in Lava and we know the other Blazing Aether's at the bottom, I think this is fine. And still floating 2 for the Waning. I think it is just a string of Dominate attacks is what we are aiming for, more or less. What could they have had that they were contemplating? It's when Tunic's online that we have to start worrying a little bit. At least we're at 4 surges again, most likely. Eve. Cycle it around with blues, which is nice. Although we probably still just want the big attack. Only costs 2, which is fine. See what they get. Needs to be like instant prevention card. That would be workable. No, Wizard's meant to be the bad matchup for Guardian, right? They would never make a you can't play or activate more instants. Or the first what would it be? The idea would be slowing them down, so the first instant they play costs an action point or something. Which only matters then if they're going into other things regardless, because they can still play other instants. Deals 4 or more. I think it's still just prevent the full amount. I'd like to keep a blue, actually. Then I can get the 1 off Tectonic. We'll be at 2, and then we hope to draw an Eruption. Do that for now. Also, destroying Ragamuffins is nice, though. I suppose it is Tectonic Headbutt. I steal 4 or more, right? So I can take the 4. I think pressuring the Ragamuffins is correct. And getting the card over Arsenal definitely does that. Plus, if this is a Kindle, it messes them up to some extent. So it's Tectonic first? Yeah. I think I'm always meant to take the Waning Moon damage, just in case the surge effects are worse. We're at 3, and I'm happy. Keep a blue in case they do anything. Yeah, I think I'm happy with this turn. Only this was slightly bigger. You really need the +1 to have it land, fortunately. We haven't seen a single pummel, though. Where Prismatic would have been really nice to draw off the top. And maybe I'm contemplating sticking more in. It really, really is great with the blues as a +3. I think we are just trying to chip them down as quick as possible. Maybe the 10 would have been better. Would have been the same scenario, but they would have one less card. It really depends on what we force them to cycle. Potions are worrisome here. Do I care about my Arsenal card? Do I care about what comes next? Because 1 more damage, they remove an energy counter, that doesn't matter. I think it's just the chip damage. Unless they... It's probably just Waning Moon that we pitch the 3 into. And then it's sort of a happy trade, because then at least their hand's basically gone. And generally speaking, whatever we draw, we should be able to play unless we brick here, and it's just like 3 pummels. Do I want to erupt? That costs 2. I can't play without the eruption. I would really like to Promising Terrain erupt. I can't. They're not keeping the pressure on. God. Awkward hand. I forego the Promising Terrain, I guess. I don't really want the Crash and Bash either. Promising Terrain's just so good because I can pitch away my hand. Oh, that was the wrong click. So Tectonic, float 2, just send big. And I want to get rid of Crash and Bash anyway. Not useful here. There's still rationale to stick this in my arsenal as well, rather than just use it straight away. I can pitch it if need be, and then only go to 2. And most likely, though, I'm open here if they want to throw me. Granted, Tunic's not up. If they do anything. Promising Terrain. Really need to take out the Crashing Bashes against this type of matchup. Erupt and put them in their place is nice. This would be better as a different blue, although I suppose it leaves us open. Not metacarpsing it. That. Be very open. I have to take the 5 here? I don't get the Ponder token. I could prevent 1, I suppose. Really wish this was another blue. I'm always just worried about what the other card is. I don't think there's anything that they can amp that would worry me, though, right? Everything just costs too much. And hold priority in case they move to end. I'd feel so much more confident if this was a blue. Especially because they can just empty their hand. So put them in the places doesn't always net us seismic surges. Maybe I should float the resources. Don't worry about tectonic plating. Because it puts me to 2 anyway. That's probably not relevant enough. Either putting in place lands, we get the full dominate. Or this is just a slow turn for us. So I guess being slightly cautious is not the worst thing. Really, really wish that was a blue. They're counting out what they can do. Yeah, 2. It was not good enough. I mean, it counteracts the Metacarpus for Surge, but not much else. Otherwise, basically just holding out for another option. Not saying a single pummel this game definitely sucks. Hmm. So much math. Okay, so maybe worth it. So the deck's not really stacked. I mean, again, it could just be the idea of dump their hand so I don't get the surges. As long as, we're not getting screwed out of it, it's just a little bit of damage, it's not too bad. And that's why we had to keep the extra resources. Does that work for Storm Striders? You may play next Wizard. Yeah, because they don't have to banish it. Because that's still a big chunk of damage. They got that off twice. Fortunately. Maybe Smelting would have been better. Not really, because this has that little bit more of upside. They're both doing the same damage anyway. Alright, well, I might as well sort through cards while they continue to deliberate. What am I looking for? It was a Clash of Legs. And any of the Sunk Water pieces. I'm guessing that's not what they wanted to hit. But again, the objective here is probably just to dump their hand. Anyway. Keep one card to block with. So you can mitigate a little bit of damage. Flash Chest is not it. You got an E-Pot. That spells disaster for us. Interesting. Still giving me one card. It would have been worth to Tectonic. What did they cycle? What, a red. Do I care about the card in my arsenal? Probably not. The damage is more important. $21 is definitely not good. One, put priority back on in case we draw. We didn't draw Eruption. Not a great hand on our side. I don't think I can even swing because I'm just at risk. I think the best we can do is that, see what they do, and then maybe get the heave off. Again, kept a whole bunch of trash because of it, but oh well. Actually, keeping that whole bunch of trash is hard. I mean, at least they're yellows, which I should think more highly of, considering, we only have so many blues. Yellows actually do make a big crux of it. God. And ideally, we have to keep that. If they can kill us here, we're probably dead. I can't even make use of the surge that we set up. I should have overpitched into the heave. That was dumb of me. Because I always forget. Heave, they don't get a second chance to respond. Just a burn bear for 6. Still a lot of damage to take. And my turn leaves me open anyway. I think unfortunately it is basically just keep a red to Tectonic. and go for one better draw. Doesn't feel great. Well, that's definitely prevents. Not metacarpusing, which is interesting. Just exact resources again for waning. Sixteen's way too low. Pass it back. Lose leyline. Or just die here. Yeah. Oh well. That's another Sonic Boom. That definitely spells our end. Hit something bad, please. Nope, that is the worst thing to see. Have they just been blind doing it? I think they have, which is insane. But anyway, it is what it is. We can find another matchup with. Still looking for one more Clash of Legs. I mean, Waning Moon just does it there, anyway. Right, is this... I forget, is this fully amp? Your turn, action card... No, it's not, never mind. But a spell does it here. Yeah. Big 9. 11. 12. What do I think 9? Alright, let's find another. One more Clash of Legs, please. The only really annoying thing, finding specific cards in Mastery Pack Guardian is such a nightmare. Oh, nope, that's Clash of Heads, never mind. They're nice block pieces, though. Clash of Arms. Alright. Against Fang. Definitely Renounce. Crush, doesn't matter. I think it's that. At 66. I think it's always just basically the batters and the bindings, and then swap in Renounce or Crush the Weak, depending on the matchup. I should probably take the quick dodge flexes. Oh well. Alright, this is a nice setup turn. That I can also swing the hammer with, right? I guess that's fair enough. Part of me kind of wanted to keep solid ground, but yeah, maybe we get the chip damage. Nope. Oh well. That's worse. Solid ground, Spinal Crush. Erupt. Ooh, it is nice. They're going big right off the bat. They still need to go again proc. So this could be what, an 8? I want to cycle this, but I guess I can't. I suppose we could use Crown instead. That's a 5, and then I could put this to a +3. Because it's most likely a +2. Means I can't block the next one with the scalers, though, unfortunately. Pummel's really nice there. Oh, I miscounted. Oh, that's rough. Oh. Oh well, it's just those 3 cards anyway. That's Tectonic. Final, they overblock, and I can just heave the smelting, which is always so nice. They've blocked 10. Hmm. 4 puts it to 10, which means it still doesn't get through, but they get the discard. I think I still have to take cards from their hand. Should be a 4. No, they didn't have it. Erupt. Uh, Or is it still just give equipment, and we're just trying to hammer them down quickly? I hate having to play around Glint so much, and then just playing the odds. Okay, so this costs us 2, so we can heave still. Or beta pummel. We are running out of fuel fairly quickly here. Oh, please sink. Get me to 3. Yeah, beautiful. Much happier. Alright. Going to capitalize on it with... Poke Slam's actually kind of... No, it's attack action cards, never mind. We still have one more draw. Sworn Vengeance, I think that's a marking one. That'd be block 3. I could block 6. I have to give a card from hand. Plays around a +2. Prevents the mark. We went very, very crazy with equipment early on, though. Cranial Crush. I'd like something cheaper since we have the pummel. As long as we can deny the fealty, we're happy. Keep Solid Ground. No, I should keep the Surface Shaking for the following turn, because Solid Ground won't be free. Yeah. Just Choke Slam and a pummel. So, well, I don't care about the Choke Slam effect, so it's always just pummel. Because it's 1 card +1. So far, we are beating them down quick enough. Not a great hand. I can get to 1 Surge. That doesn't really do jack for us. 4's still nice in this regard. It's kind of just Surface Shaking, stash the Boulder Drop. We have enough health to play around with, that giving them back one turn of aggression isn't the worst thing in the world. It would be nice if we had something a little bit better to capitalize on. Better to keep the binding just because we have damage. Go to 4. I think that's actually a little bit better. Sorry, not... Yeah, go to 4. I said 4, but my head was thinking 6, but we're not heaving. Maybe the boulder drop is a little bit nicer, but I think we're still just aggressive on damage. Just a blue there to swing would have been really nice. And we're basically just fishing for pummels at this point. No pummel in hand, which is nice. Ah, it's a rough attack to hit, but there's no way they get the daggers for free. I can't comfortably block enough, so I kind of just want to cycle. It would be keep 2 blue, cycle 2 cards to look for a pummel. It's just a whole lump of damage. Guess they'd rather swing? Oh, they are still playing it. What's important to keep? Boulder drops? Be greedy in cycle 3, chances I do find a blue. If I find a pummel, I have floating 1 resources, so if I find a red, it's fine. Yeah, so I can cycle 3 cards. We didn't find a pummel, though. Just batter to a pulp? Doesn't destroy anything. I mean, all I'm doing is sticking batter into our arsenal instead, then. I guess it's just damage. The crash and bashes are nice, though, because then we can get to 3 again. But they will probably start to outcompete our damage fairly soon. Would be nice to have a stronger on-hit effect. Four for the first one, 3 for the next. Abilitate to show, and then a blue to pitch. If only we had Promising Terrain the previous turn. I think a 4's fine. Am I bothering to keep Promising? We continue to get chip damage across, which I think is fine. No, I can't do that. It needs to be that. There's still the card from Arsenal that's worrisome. Well, we draw out an Eruption, and I guess we're happier again. But we are also running out of block. I think we've seen the majority of the Crash and Bashes. There's the Glint, interestingly. We're out of equipment, so it's kind of weird to give up the Glint. Especially because it's a blue pitchable. They're on 9. Very rough hand. Well, we can block 6. We got the pummel. Interesting. I mean, it's basically just block keeps Spinal Crush. Show me the Eruption. No. Ability's not bad. Renounce is not bad either. We can't let them turn this online though, which is annoying. Spinal Crush is 5. And is it the worst thing? How much damage can they beat us down with here? The Spinal Crush would be my whole hand to pummel it. I think that's fine as an option. Probably a little greedy. But they're over the cap of fealty anyway, so it doesn't matter. The glint would kind of be worse. Yeah. Have them. Hopefully it's just a little late. That's a bit worse. Not a crazy amount of damage. But it sucks that it's our whole hand to combat this. But ideally they have to play around a red pummel. It could be 2 4s. Still prevents the go again, and discard. And we're back in the game. Granted, daggers are still free. We only have to worry about 1. No erupt. I'd have to keep my whole hand to be able to swing. We'll give it to them because of the go again. But the fact that they saw my whole hand is the problem with what they just did. They can still KO us with the following turn, though. It's a bit of an issue. I mean, there's no rationale not to overblock here, I suppose. If I don't block, I do force them to block, though. And they can't get the legs back, either. They've 1 block there. I guess boom in their place should be enough. Even if it's not dominated. No, but I'm 1 resource short. Never mind. It'd be Choke Slam, which I'm also 1 resource short of. No combination in my hand. I guess it's that. Rough. Oh well. And didn't even kill the fealties, unfortunately. The ley line doesn't matter. I mean, the 5 block's nice. We can still put them in their place here. Although, technically it has to be that. Too much damage otherwise. I'm giving solid ground anyway. I might as well block the first one. Because it's still solid ground. If it's a glisten, it's a glisten. Most likely we're dead here. And then just 3 block for the next one. Not enough. Not with 2 reactions in tow. Yeah, that'll do it. Bam. Done. we had one more blue, it would have bought us a turn, but then that still wouldn't have been good enough. Still, I very much enjoy the Revered deck. Alright. Back to business-ish. I think overall there's still a lot for me to pick apart. But the what we're striving for, at least in terms of a concept, I think is good. Or fine. What we should go with. So I think I will, because I have a surplus of Mastery Pack Guardian. Right. So the idea would be to, I don't necessarily know if I'll go with mods. If I will go with making a deck for each hero, but I think I definitely want piles, right? Probably just looking through, getting 12 packs of Mastery Pack Guardian out and utilizing that. But definitely a rare set of cards. So I'd like this one, no. I like this idea fundamentally. Right, where basically the equipment's on top, you don't know what cards are underneath. You can pick your equipment and your hero, and that will get you your set of cards to utilize for Smash Palace, right? It shouldn't be too crazy of a pile. I can stick it in the box, and I'm happy for it, right? That's like option A to play Smash Palace. Option B would be just piles, right? Again, open 12 packs, have the blues, have the equipment, have the other stuff. What did Skippy do? Blue, reds, and yellows, rares, and armor. There's not too many rares, that kind of feels lackluster. Maybe I juiced up with the extra cards. And the idea there is you sort of do a pseudo draft where instead of the pass, maybe pass works anyway, but then you've got, you know, the blues, for instance, you'll have a massive stack of cards. So I think it would probably be draw 3, pick 1, put one to the bottom, leave 1 on top, right? And that's probably the best way to create enough variety and fun out of what comes with the Smash Palace kit to utilize. So yeah, so 3 levels of play is how I'd like to set up my box of Smash Palace, basically. Probably forego actually making individual decks for each hero. I think you could definitely tailor, right? So for instance, with what's her name? She's at the back, Rhea. You obviously want a whole ton of the block cards. Then, you know, some utility for the gold, right? So I could definitely create fun lists for each of them, I think. Just 30 card deck list, just using commons and rares. And maybe I will do that on Fabry. But it's probably a bit much sifting through. And there's only limited space in the Smash Palace box anyway. I will probably have to gut the inside and figure out dividers and stuff to stick in there to make this work. But so we saw the whole massive cards, end up getting equipment, which is nice. Found a full set of the Sunk Water, which is good. Maybe I throw that in there instead of one of the Iron Rot sets, right? So it'll be 2 of each, 1 set of Sunk Water. That's not a bad idea. But sorted some cards, played some games. Slow day, more or less. Next weekend will probably be crazier since we can full-heartedly talk about a lot of the spoilers. But I think we'll leave it there, right? Hope you enjoyed. Anyone